So guys, with episode 3, Heresy, Trials of Osiris has received quite a lot of changes, and this week I actually went in and played to test out these changes for myself to get a good idea of how the new experience plays for someone like me who doesn't really play PvP all that much. So we're going to go over the changes, also some of the new rewards, and just my experience with Trials of Osiris this week. So let's first start off with how Trials actually works now. Obviously, you still need to go to Saint 14 and grab one of the two new passages. You of course have the Trials of Osiris passage, which will basically give you access to the Trials of Osiris game mode for that week, and you'll be able to get loot just by playing games and earning reputation here with Saint 14. But then you also have the Lighthouse passage, which basically works exactly the same as the Trials of Osiris passage, except upon getting 7 wins, you'll be able to go to the Lighthouse. Note that you do not need to get 7 flawless wins, you just need to get 7 wins, so losses don't really matter anymore in Trials, which is absolutely amazing. You could lose 20 games and still get 7 wins, and you'd be able to go to the Lighthouse and get some Adept rewards, which is incredible. I can't believe how many times I went into Trials hoping to get a 7 flawless win game to get some loot, lose my first 2 games, and then lose interest in Trials generally. Having Lighthouse loot be available now to pretty much everyone who's persistent enough to play the game, very, very good change. One thing also, getting loot from random match wins is also a great change. I don't think I got as much loot as I would probably like. I think I got a load of like random legendaries as well that weren't specifically Trials focused. I did get like one, I believe, Exalted Truth random drop from a game. I was looking for a Keen Thistle, but that still hasn't dropped for me yet. And I believe I also got a couple Aisha's Cares as well. So overall, loot drops are there, probably not as much as I would like. I think I was getting way more world loot drops than I was Trials loot drops inside of Trials. So I'd like to see that kind of changed a little bit. Maybe give me at least one weapon or armor piece at least if I win a game or something, or if I win a certain amount of games. I thought that would be good. If I remember back in Destiny 1, if you like won 3 games, you would get something. Then if you won 5 games, you would get another Trials loot. And then by going 7, you would go to the Lighthouse. So something like that I feel like would be a good addition, but either way, that's just my thoughts on it. And the general loot this time around is actually quite good. Speaking of weapons, let's go in detail and talk about the 2 new ones you can get this time around for episode 3. Obviously, first off, we have the return of Exalted Truths. This is a Void Adaptive Frame hand cannon, and first off, destabilizing rounds in that first column, PvE wise, going to be absolutely insane. You do also have Withering Gaze, but destabilizing with the buff it just got, making your weapon grant volatile rounds is just absolutely insane and going to be very, very worth going for. Then also got Repulsor Brace to pair that with, which is going to be very, very good. But then also Demoralize is a new trait, which is pretty decent as well, where precision kills apply Void Weaken to enemies within range. So if you get a headshot kill either in PvP or PvE, spreading that weaken effect, going to be pretty good overall. In terms of PvP though, because this is a Trials of Osiris weapon, obviously Slide Shot, Zen Moment, Moving Target, Lone Wolf, even Keep Away, pretty good options there. Precision Instrument, Opening Shot, Magnificent Howl, Eye of the Storm, whole load of good options here for this hand cannon. And you've also got your 3 origin traits in Alacrity, One Quiet Moment, and Suros Synergy. Then moving on to the weapon that I am most interested in getting my hands on, that being the Keen Thistle Solar Aggressive Frame Sniper Rifle. This thing, for my PvE players, is going to be pretty darn good because it can get, obviously, Envious Arsenal bait and switch. Going to be a very good role for you there, but then you do also have 4th times the charm and triple tap, pretty decent. Envious Arsenal 4th times might be interesting, and then obviously triple tap bait and switch, obviously another good option there, but mainly Envious Arsenal bait and switch for my PvE players is going to be the one you're wanting to go for. And then for PvP players, obviously because it's a Trials of Osiris weapon, you do have things like Under Pressure, where improved stability and accuracy as your magazine gets lower, with special ammo being quite low inside of PvP right now. Going to be constantly having that procced. Then once again, Lone Wolf, Snapshot, triple tap if you're hitting those headshots consistently, then Opening Shot, Moving Target, Closing Time, stuff like that is going to be very, very good for you. But PvE people, definitely Envious Arsenal bait and switch on this thing. It's going to be pretty darn good, especially paired with the new Darcy changes. This thing might actually go insane. And then obviously you do have Alacrity, One Quiet Moment, and Hake Breach Armaments as your origin traits. Obviously, Exalted Truths is the Adept weapon this week, and I'm guessing next week Keen Thistle will be the Adept weapon, hopefully. So if you want to save for the Adept weapon, you can do that, or you can go and try and get a normal version as well. Just play through games and you'll have the potential for these to drop, but then also just by playing games, you'll be ranking up your rewards track here with Saint 14, and by getting to rank 10, you then get Exalted Truths, and by getting to rank 16, you then get Keen Thistle. So you'll get both these rewards just by playing, which is absolutely amazing, and then you can come back here to the focusing and just focus them for 1 engram and 25,000 glimmer. Then alongside that, you also have brand new armor sets as well for each of the classes. So I'll probably throw an image up here of all the armor sets themselves. They look pretty decent. There's that same Osiris Egyptian themed gear. So if you're interested in that, you can go and grab that as well this week. Now, for my overall thoughts and experience with Trials this time around. Like I said, I don't really play Trials of Osiris with any kind of consistency. The last time I played was like seasons ago when there was like a new armor set. I believe it was like the dragon helmet or something that I really wanted, so I forced myself to play to get that, and then I haven't touched Trials since. And overall, I would say my experience was pretty good. Like I said, I'm not a great PvP player, but I was able to get 7 wins, so I was able to go to the lighthouse and get some pretty decent loot. I'm still after that Keen Thistle, so I'll probably head in again today or tomorrow to try and get that. But overall, it was an okay experience. I had some games where I would absolutely steamroll the enemy team, and then it would end and I'd get some decent loot, or I'd had some games where I would get completely steamrolled and it would end quick and I'd just load into another game and hopefully have a better overall experience. That was me as a solo player with no communication with my teammates. Obviously, if you go in with some friends and are able to communicate better, your experience will most likely be a better one. But the fact that you don't need to go flawless anymore is the biggest incentive for me anyway to actually jump in and get some rewards. If there's a weapon or armor piece that I'm interested in, knowing that I don't need to worry about losses is probably the biggest, most positive change Trials of Osiris has received literally ever. Having to not worry about those losses and having to not really care all that much about winning is a great overall experience for me personally. Obviously, if you do care about winning, you'll obviously get more rewards. But if you just want to get one adept weapon and like some loot that week, you can just go in and chill, and it's probably going to work out for you as long as you stay persistent. And if you do end up winning a couple games, that's great. If you end up losing, no big deal. Head into the next one and just try and win overall. Obviously, if you go in and throw games, that's not going to be great. You do need to still try a little bit, but not like an entirely large amount. I was able to just get 7 wins just by casually playing and was able to get some good loot. So yeah, if you're interested in any of the new loot or just trying out the Trials of Osiris changes for yourself, I would highly recommend jumping in and giving it a go, because the more people that play, better experience Trials of Osiris is going to be generally, which is what these changes are meant to do. It's meant to get people in, playing, and having a good overall time, because before, people were running into the same groups of people and it wasn't really a great overall experience. But now that people can just jump in, get 7 wins, get some decent loot, it's a really, really good incentive. So I would highly recommend people jump in and give it a try. And yeah, that's all I have to say on Trials. Hopefully you guys jump in, get some loot that you want. If you don't want to get any of the loot, don't have to play Trials and just ignore it like you always have. But yeah, overall, great experience. I highly recommend people jump in and give it a go and try and get some of the loot that they are after, even if you're not that great at PvP. And yeah, that's everything that I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That's all I have for you guys today, so I'll catch you all in the next one.